What is up, guys, and welcome to the Heroic Iron Juggernaut Raid Guide. In this guide we're going to go over the differences between normal mode and heroic mode so that you know what to expect in heroic mode. Obviously, if you don't know the normal mechanics, go ahead and watch the normal mode guide so you can learn more about the abilities that you're going to have to deal with going into this heroic mode. But let's get right into this one. As always, guys, this fight is probably one of the cooler fights. It's one of those kind of you versus the boss type fights where there's just a lot of, he's doing a lot of damage and just really slamming into you, and then you're just really slamming into him back and forth, trying to beat that berserk timer and keep everybody alive. Again, this is going to be a two-phase fight. Phase 1 really doesn't change much. The crawler mines, again, the only thing that you'll find is we had our off tank, whoever wasn't taking the boss at the time, kind of go through and do the crawler mines with the cooldown and take care of those. But DPS can help with this. So if you have Shadow Priests with Pain Sup, Deterrence works, Greater Invis works for mages. There's different things that you can really help with your raid, and what you do is just pop your cooldown, click on the crawler mine, it'll throw you up in the air and explode it. The problem is if you don't get one of the crawler mines, it will explode and pretty much wipe your entire raid. Again, this is one of those combo damage fights that we always see, where if you let one ability go, combine it with another ability, and you're going to start losing people. And when you start losing people, you start missing that DPS timer, and it becomes a wipe very quickly. The main difference, though, on this fight in Heroic is going to be handling phase 2. Okay, Shock Pulse really sends you flying and does a ton of damage to the point where if you're all spread all over the room, it is very, very difficult for your healers to get through this. It's almost impossible. So what you need to do is you need to really make sure that, if you keep yourself kind of where you walk into the room, keep yourself in that area, that normally helps. Or you can do a stack point where you have everybody stack on a certain point for Shock Pulse, and then that way they won't get knocked back any further, and all the healers and everybody will be right there. So those really are your two options for how you want to do it. Again, how we typically do it is we have the boss kind of by the main doorway where you first go up and see him. We turn him to the right as if you were looking into the door, and then pretty much behind him is where we put the marker for phase 2 for that Shock Pulse. Now keep in mind, guys, that other than Shock Pulse in phase 2, you've got a ton of damage going out with the seismic activity. And then on top of that, anytime you get picked with a laser, you need to run it away from everybody. Do not put it through an oil spill. It will just destroy the raid. And that's kind of the other reason that we stay all stacked up, so that way the person who gets the laser can pretty much just sprint, and they have 3/4 of the room that they can mess with, and they don't have to worry about getting in the way of anybody else. But again, guys, after that it becomes really rinse and repeat at this point. Obviously during phase 2, the crawler mines will be coming out still, and you're also going to get a lot more targeting reticles on the ground that you need to watch out for. But again, other than that, it's very, very, very similar to normal mode, besides just the insane amount of damage that comes out, especially in phase 2. If you can pretty much get through 2 phase 2s, you've got to kill. After that point, you should be killing him in that next phase 1. If you can't kill him by then, that third phase 2 is going to be rough if you even can get there. So keep that in mind, is that's really what you're aiming for, is that third phase 1 he needs to die. Other than that, you're really looking at a real tough time, especially for your healers. But if you can do those things, guys, there's really not that much else to change in Heroic, so go ahead and watch the rest of this kill video. Hope you enjoyed this one, and as always, see you in the next one.
Remember, all those years ago.